man behind this wonderful sound is Abhijit Banerjee, who has played with Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, Pandit Jasraj ji, Amjad Ali Khan Sahab, Parveen Sultana ji, you name it. He has been with all the musical stalwarts of India. He is considered as one of the top ranking musicians of India of the present generation. Apart from his popularity as a tabla player in the classical music field, his creativity using different musical genre, interwoven melodies and percussion and innovative arrangements has brought him recognition in the arena of world music. Abhijit had a natural inclination towards music from his early childhood. Sensing his innate talent, his father got him started with tabla at the age of 4. Such a tender age, his initial training was under Sri Tushar Kanti Bose and then from Pandit Manik Pal. His breakthrough occurred when he was accepted as a prime disciple of the illustrious Guru, late Pandit Gyan Prakash Ghosh. Besides learning tabla, Abhijit took intensive training in vocal music from Pandit Ajoy Chakraborty and violin for a number of years, which gave him solid foundation as a well-rounded musician. And today we are fortunate to have this well-rounded musician amidst us in ITV. Namaskar and welcome, Abhijit ji.
Namaskar.
Abhijit ji, when you see tabla and when you have Abhijit Da, the way you are addressed with by many of your fellow tabla players and people who are learning from you, we want you to begin this program with one of your favorite piece of music. I believe you composed and that has also been brought out in the form of Tarang CD. That is your composition and you are singing also in that CD?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah. So I'm let me see. Right now I remember one of my pieces from one of my Tarang CD. So the piece name is Swas. Swas means the breath. So a lot of recitations are there and also singing. So I'm going to recite and sing as well as playing tabla at the same time. Okay?
Very good.
Takati takadimi takadimi takati takati takadimi takadimi takati takati takadimi takadimi takati takati takadimi takadimi ma pa ni sa 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 re ni sa ma pa ni sa 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 re ni sa pa re ga ni sa re ni da pa pa da 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 sa ni da ma pa da na ra da na da ra da na da 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 na.
Beautiful. बहुत अच्छे. It is titled as Swas.
Swas, yeah.
And Swas, when you think about singing, it automatically is there. You need a good control over your breath. But in tabla also, do you need to?
No, there is a lot of recitation as takiti takiti takadimi, all these bowls, and it is going on breathlessly. So that's why we are.
Yes.
So that's why I named it Swas.
And talking about the early age when you started learning tabla, you were only 4 years, and at 4, very few kids are very comfortable in saying what they want to say, and they frame some sentences and they come up with something, and parents are so happy. So in your case, when they felt that you are inclined to play tabla, what was the reaction in your family?
Well, I hardly remember anything from that age, but I heard from my parents and my neighbors that what happened, one of my neighbor used to play tabla, and I used to go there, and generally a child bang on the tabla, but I was trying to copy his hand position. So looking at that, my neighbor told my father that he is very interested, so why don't you give him in the music school, or take him to the tabla playing teacher. So that's how I started at the very early age.
And let us move ahead a little bit, couple of years down the line, when you were accepted as the prime disciple of your guru, late Pandit Gyan Prakash Ghosh, who was known to be very peculiar, like who is going to be his disciple and who won't. He had some sort of a sense. Was there some test also, like we have today?
Well, I was learning from one of his disciples who was working in All India Radio. His name was Pandit Manik Pal. So Manik Kaka took me to Guruji. He said that he's my prime disciple and I hope you will accept it, just listen to him. So already the lineage was there. So then I was very nervous, but anyway I played in front of him, and then I sang also, because my Guruji was also a very good singer and he used to compose music, and his music was sung by Begum Akhtar. Then his disciples are Pandit Ajay Chakraborty and all these people. So he saw me, and then well, he was also a very good academically he was first in physics from Calcutta University. So he first asked me whether I'm also doing my studies and all these things. I said yes, and then after that I started learning from him like that.
We have this term Arangetram, when you are solo performer, you have learned. And in tabla also there must have been something when you were allowed that now you can go with some accomplished singer.
Yeah, in North Indian music we don't have any such name like Arangetram, but generally what happens is that your guru allows you to perform outside in front of the audience. And actually what happened, that my guru took me to ITC Sangeet Research Academy, which is one of its kind in India, and he presented me in front of all the stalwarts of Indian classical music, and that's how I started to play in front of other people. Well, before that I used to play in some of these Bacche Logo ka small kids competition and all these things, and I stood first and so all these things, but those are not considered as commercial playing. So I started playing quite in early age, and my guru first took me in front of the audience, and then after that I started playing with all the stalwarts.
So talking about commercial playing, what is it that differentiates an amateur player to the commercial musician?
Well, commercial, amateur, anything amateur might be good also, but what you are saying, that the professionalism is lacking little bit, but here what happens as a professional tabla player, what do you feel that this every performance is a examination for us, because if you are not good, the next performance you don't know whether you will get it or not. So that kind of energy you have to give in a professional tabla playing or professional work.
For those of you who have joined us a little late, let me remind you, my guest today is Abhijit Banerjee, an accomplished tabla player, one in the foremost of the names that one would hear when you talk about tabla and India. Talking about him, he has of course played with Pandit Ravi Shankar ji, Pandit Jasraj ji, Amjad Ali Khan Sahab, Parveen Sultana ji, and not only that, he has travelled with his tabla all over the globe, if I may say. He has been to many countries, and that of course includes USA, UK and Canada and Europe, Japan, Australia, you name it, and he has been there. Talking about the first experience which you had of playing with a singer who had a very big name, how was it? Were you nervous, and who was it?
It was Begum Parveen Sultana, and it was a huge audience in the Indo Stadium in Calcutta, almost 10,000 people, and she took me over there, and I was playing. I was definitely nervous because I heard him on the stage. Now I'm just beside her, playing with her, so I was definitely a little bit nervous. But again, what I told you, that as a professional tabla player, if you become nervous on the stage, then the concert suffers. So you have to have your mind and strength of mind, and the concert was went quite well. and since then I have been playing with her for many concerts, and many CDs and recordings are with her.
There are so many questions that come to one's mind regarding tabla. Tabla earlier was considered to be an instrument which is not the main instrument in the music sequence.
Right.
And then allow me to say that Zakir Hussain ji, Ustad Zakir Hussain Sahab, he probably brought it to limelight as a layman understands, and maybe
Yes.
technically you will have some other opinion, I do not know. But anybody who talks about tabla, he immediately thinks about Zakir Hussain Sahab.
Zakir ji.
How does that make you feel? Do you feel that, oh, my name or somebody else's name should have been there? Probably there are other tabla players who are equally accomplished also.
No, absolutely, you are right, and we all agree to that. Tabla was an accompanying instrument for a long time in Indian classical music. There was one time when tabla players used to sit underneath, beside the stage, and the main performer or the singer used to sit on a podium on the stage. The raised platform for the singer. That was one. It happened. Now Zakir ji, before Zakir ji there was his father Allah Rakha Khan Sahab, who used to play with Pandit Ravi Shankar, also Kishan Maharaj ji, Santa Prasad ji. There were many stalwarts who made tabla very popular in India, but definitely Zakir ji's name comes in the front, because for the modern generation he has come with definite, he's a genius, definitely.
Okay, allow me to ask you, why do you call him a genius? What is it that differentiates him and let's say any other?
He's a style creator. Let me see. He created a style, not his hair and not his body expression, but the tabla playing style. He invented a style which almost everybody nowadays will follow, and at the same time his sound of tabla is very good, and also he opened tabla with the jazz world. He came here. It's not that before him nobody has played like that, but he really created that, and he has played, and he has got immense popularity because of his production, because of his intelligence, the way he delivers the sounds, the way he talks, everything combined is Ustad Zakir Hussain.
And now we move towards Abhijit Banerjee, an accomplished tabla player and a very humble person, with a request to show something with tabla to our viewers, wherein you would be able to share your style or the style that is dear to you.
Okay, so I belong to, there are different styles in tabla playing, in classical tabla playing, let me say, and I belong to Farukhabad Gharana. So let me recite one bowl. Those who learn tabla, they know it, and those who don't learn, just listen. I think you will enjoy. Den nana, this is the tal tete den da, den nana, na. Kata dati dagin, nati dati dagin, nedagati nakena, de kat genati naginati dagina, de kata, de kata, de kat.
क्या बात है, very good.
Thank you.
Abhijit ji, when hear some singer singing, be it even Pankaj Udas ji singing ghazals or some classical singer, they do some sort of a jugalbandi, so they come up with some bowls and then they play. How that happens, and how challenging it is, because the singer is giving something and that is being reproduced on
tabla. Right, this is called jugalbandi, or sawal jawab. We will say sawal jawab. वो कुछ करता, I mean he does something, and then we try to reciprocate that on tabla, and it is mainly also in instrumental music, lot of instrumental music, and especially Pandit Ravi Shankar and Ustad Ali Akbar Khan Sahab started it in Indian classical music, and it's very popular, because it's a kind of question answer between the instrument and the tabla, and there is no, it's not that we are trying to compete with each other. It's just reciprocating each
Do
other.
you enjoy that?
Yeah, definitely. Not only me, the artist, everybody enjoys that. That's a very enjoyable part of the whole composition.
So it is a dialogue which fills us with joy, and when we talk about dialogue, then we think about the dialogue between Guru and Shishya. So Abhijit ji not only learnt, he also thought of continuing this flow of knowledge of tabla playing, and that is how an organization called Dhwani probably was born.
Right.
And today we are fortunate that one of his student who learned from him in Calcutta, now who is based in New York, he thought that a branch of his school called Dhwani should offer its services in New York as well. And I have the pleasure of welcoming Ravi also to our studio. And before asking Ravi, let me ask you, how do you feel teaching, and can you just in 2-3 minutes share something about the initial learning stages of tabla?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely feel good. I've been teaching for last 7-8 years, and I started this school in Calcutta and then in Los Angeles. Now Ravi is here in New York to continue that. And beside only teaching, we also teach blind students and give scholarships to them, help them. So teaching is tabla playing is not like that, just bang on the tabla. There has to be some fingerings, like I'm just showing you 1 or 2 things, like for a kid who is learning, the tabla should not be very straight, it should be leaning outside. Secondly, you should you should keep your hand very straight, parallel to the tabla, and then you sit straight, and then like first bowl you can say tere kete, and then there is one bowl ta, then on the baya you have this ge, then thum. All these basic bowls you have to learn, and then you go on with that, and the rhythmic patterns like tintal, garba, and all these things.
Wonderful. And continuing with the education, I remember there was a research paper written on your work on you in Cambridge University,
Yeah.
UK. What was it about?
Actually, from Cambridge University, every year one student comes from there to learn from me. It is an arrangement between Cambridge University and Dhwani that they send one student. So one of the students, he is a very good French horn player, learns Western classical music, was very much into Indian classical music, and then came here and learned, and then he wrote a paper, not only Farrukhabad but my style of teaching and what are my specialties when I play tabla with some people, or what is my thinking about tabla. So he wrote a paper on that.
And Ravi, how was it learning from Abhijit da for you?
Very nice. He is my guru. So I was started tabla when I was 5 years.
I see.
My father was a great tabla player. After that, my father, I went to my Guruji, and at present I am student my Guruji.
And do you teach also?
Yeah. Now I am teaching
And we are going to start this school in
Hindu Center that was situated in 45 -52 Casino Boulevard, Hindu Center.
Very good, very good. And back to you, Abhijit, about the way musical scene is, and so much of fusion, and so much loud presence of techno music or computer generated music, and there are some instruments where you don't need tabla for the beats, and they are also being used very much. So how do you foresee down the line, considering the involvement of computer generated music, what do you see the future for tabla?
Well, not only tabla, this is an acoustic instrument. So acoustic instruments like guitar is also, sitar is also. These are there are replicas in synthesizers of these sounds, but piano is also another instrument which has been doing all these things through synthesizer or keyboard, but still acoustic piano is there, and it is very much into Indian Western classical music. Just like that, any acoustic instrument will definitely survive. It will change its it will be modified, and it will fit itself within the structure of the modern generation, slowly and gradually. Like, tabla, now you see tabla, it was a pakhwaj before, then you cut it, then it become two separate instruments, like, both we call tabla. Like that, I don't know, after maybe 100 years it might get any change, but the acoustic instruments will definitely be there. It has got its charm, and its mastery is always there, and I am very hopeful that it will be there.
And when we look at music or the flow of music, there are different categories that we have made so as to understand. So one is divine or devotional music, the one is classical and devotional come together, and then there is some sugam sangeet or light classical, ghazal, etc. And then this category, which has everything, like a mix, is film music. So tabla comes fine up to the light classical music, but in the film music, the modern version of film music, probably tabla is sidelined.
Yes, tabla is sidelined. Not only tabla, you can see dholak, sitar, all these modern instruments are sidelined, definitely, because they want to cut short the budget. So in one instrument you get most of the songs and most of the sounds, so that's why they are using too much of keyboard. But at the same time, what you say, there is the golden period of Hindi music. What you don't play,
it is not there right
why
now.
Why you say golden period? So gold is gold, definitely.
Talking about the gold, and if you want to be part of the gold, in the sense that learning tabla from the same lineage that has Abhijit Da as a part of it, and they are starting off a branch in Hindu Center, you can of course get in touch with them, and you have more details on your website also about Dhwani and about you, which is abhijitbanerjee.com.
Yes.
And do you also have some sound bites of your tabla playing?
There, yes, you can download some of the recordings of
Very good. And I want to congratulate Ravi for having a student of such an accomplished musician, and also for taking courage to start off this sort of an opening for those who want to learn tabla. And before we let you go, Abhijit ji, I want to request you, there are two kinds of performances, one when you are playing with the musician, one when it is a solo tabla performance. Have you done a lot of solo performances?
Yes, I have done a lot of solos. There are CDs also.
Right.
Solo.
Yeah, I knew about it, but from here comes my request. If you want to come up with something on tabla which is full of joy and where you're in a celebration kind of a mood, would you play something for us of that nature?
Yeah, I'll play, and maybe a short piece I will play, and then after that I will give the tabla to Rabi, because he is a very accomplished tabla player, and light music he plays very good. That's a very joyous thing. Wonderful. So he can play that.
So how beats can bring a sense of joy and fill us with happiness very quickly was demonstrated by Abhijit ji, and now Ravi has something for us. Just can't stop from clapping. That's the way it ends and brings a sense of fulfillment in you. My guests today, Ravi and Abhijit Banerjee, accomplished tabla player, and Dhwani is the organization which they have formed to propagate this learning of tabla, and they are starting a center in New York also very soon. At Hindu Center, you would be able to enjoy the joy of learning tabla. And Tarang is a CD which has been appreciated very much, which was brought out by Abhijit Banerjee, with lots of good wishes to Ravi, and thanks and good wishes to you too, Abhijit ji, for coming to our
Thank you,
studio.
Ashok ji, and thank you to ITV for giving us this opportunity. And also I should thank my friend Anil Dua, who brought me here.
Wonderful. And on that note of thanks, I also want to thank all of you with lots of good wishes. This is Ashok Vyas saying goodbye.